Tomorrow morning, before you make your coffee, take a good look at your kitchen. Maybe there's one pan still on the stove, a couple of dishes in the sink, a few crumbs beside the toaster, nothing that would take more than 5 minutes to clean. And yet, before you've even started your day, you already feel a little overwhelmed. The surprising part is that it isn't the mess that's draining your energy. It's the feeling that the work is waiting for you. In many Japanese homes, kitchens stay clean without anyone spending hours scrubbing or constantly tidying up. The secret isn't working harder. It's never allowing small messes to become big ones in the first place. Today, I'll share 7 simple Japanese habits that fit naturally into your daily routine. Each one takes only a few seconds, but together, they can make your kitchen easier to maintain, reduce the need for harsh cleaning products, and help you enjoy a space that feels calm every time you walk into it. Let's begin with the habit that changes everything. Cleaning before the mess has a chance to settle. The first habit is simple, but it changes everything. Clean before the mess has time to settle. Many of us cook first and clean later. It feels more efficient. We tell ourselves, I'll deal with everything after dinner. But by the time the meal is over, the sauce has dried onto the stove, grease has hardened in the pan, and the cutting board is covered with sticky food residue. What could have taken a few seconds now takes several minutes of scrubbing. Japanese kitchens follow a different rhythm. Instead of separating cooking and cleaning, they treat them as one continuous activity. Before you even begin cooking, fill the sink with a little warm water and a drop of dish soap. Now, every time you finish using something, give it a quick rinse. After chopping vegetables, rinse the knife and cutting board while the onions are sautéing. Once you've poured ingredients into a pot, wash the empty mixing bowl before the water starts boiling. While your coffee is brewing, wipe away the few drops that landed on the counter. If soup is simmering for 5 minutes, use one of those minutes to return the spices to the cabinet and wipe the stovetop. These tiny moments already exist in your day. You're simply using them differently. The biggest benefit isn't that your kitchen stays cleaner. It's that nothing has time to become difficult to clean. Fresh grease wipes away with a damp cloth. Dried grease needs much more effort. A splash of tomato sauce disappears in seconds if you clean it immediately, but after an hour, it often requires scrubbing. By the time dinner is ready, you'll notice something surprising. Most of the cleaning is already finished. Instead of facing a sink full of dishes and a messy countertop, you only have a few final items left. That's the quiet beauty of this Japanese habit. You don't spend more time cleaning. You simply stop small messes from turning into big ones. And once you've experienced that feeling, the next habit becomes much easier to practice. The second habit is to never leave your kitchen unfinished at the end of the day. This doesn't mean deep cleaning every night. It doesn't mean scrubbing the oven or emptying every cabinet. It simply means giving your kitchen a fresh start before you go to bed. Many people wake up already feeling behind because yesterday's dishes are still waiting. Before breakfast even begins, there's work to do. That small feeling of unfinished business can quietly affect the rest of the morning. In many Japanese homes, the goal is simple. Before the lights go off, the kitchen is returned to a ready state. It only takes about 10 minutes. Start by putting leftovers into containers and placing them in the refrigerator. Throw away vegetable peels, coffee grounds, or any food scraps that are still on the counter. Next, wash the remaining dishes or place them in the dishwasher. Once the sink is empty, rinse it with warm water. If you notice a few food particles around the drain, remove them now instead of waiting until tomorrow. Then wipe the faucet, the countertop, and the stovetop with a damp cloth. Since the surfaces were cleaned throughout the day, this usually takes less than a minute. Finally, hang the dishcloth so it can dry properly, return the sponge to its place, and take one slow look around the kitchen. Ask yourself one simple question. If I walked in here tomorrow morning, would this room be ready for me? If the answer is yes, you're finished. There is something surprisingly comforting about waking up to an empty sink and a clean countertop. You don't begin the day by dealing with yesterday. You begin with a space that's ready to support today's meals. You don't need a perfect kitchen every night. You only need one that is ready for tomorrow. Once this evening reset becomes part of your routine, the next Japanese habit makes keeping the kitchen clean even easier. The third habit is to make cleaning tools impossible to ignore. Have you ever noticed a small spill on the counter, thought, I'll wipe that in a minute, and then completely forgotten about it? It usually isn't because you're lazy. It's because the cloth is inside a cabinet. The spray bottle is under the sink. The paper towels are in another corner of the kitchen. By the time you've thought about where everything is, your brain has already decided to do it later. Japanese kitchens are often designed to remove that extra step. The closer a cleaning tool is to the place where it's used, the more likely you are to use it immediately. Start by looking at the areas that become messy most often. If you prepare vegetables on the same section of the counter every day, place a small compost bowl or trash container right beside it. Instead of carrying peels across the kitchen, they go directly into the container. If grease usually splatters around the stove, keep a folded microfiber cloth within arm's reach. As soon as you're done cooking, one quick wipe removes the fresh oil before it hardens. If your coffee maker leaves small drips every morning, keep a small towel beside it instead of across the room. The same idea applies to your sink. Keep the dish soap, sponge, and scrub brush together in one organized spot, so washing one plate feels effortless. Every tool should have one permanent home, and after using it, put it back immediately. The next time you need it, you won't waste even a few seconds searching. This habit may seem small, but it removes dozens of tiny decisions throughout the day. When cleaning becomes the easiest option instead of the difficult one, you stop relying on motivation. Your kitchen begins to guide your behavior naturally, and the next habit builds on that idea by changing not where your tools live, but what you choose to leave out in the open. The fourth habit is to keep your countertops as clear as possible. Many people think a kitchen feels lived in when everything is within reach. The blender stays on the counter. The toaster never moves. A basket collects mail, vitamins, and receipts. Before long, the countertop becomes a storage shelf instead of a workspace. The problem isn't just how it looks. It's how much harder it becomes to clean. Imagine wiping a completely clear countertop. One smooth motion with a damp cloth, and you're done. Now imagine moving a coffee maker, a knife block, a fruit basket, 3 bottles of oil, a stack of mail, and a jar of utensils before you can even start wiping. Most people won't bother. They wipe around the objects instead, leaving crumbs, grease, and dust to collect underneath. Japanese homes often follow a different principle. Every item left on the counter should earn its place by being used every single day. Look around your kitchen and ask yourself a simple question. Did I use this today? If the answer is no, it probably belongs inside a cabinet. Small appliances that are only used once a week don't need to live on the countertop. Cookbooks can go on a shelf. Mail belongs somewhere outside the kitchen. Medicine should be stored where it stays cool and dry. Leave only the essentials, perhaps your coffee maker, a bottle of cooking oil, and a small container holding salt and pepper. Everything else should have a proper home. You'll notice another benefit almost immediately. A clear countertop doesn't just clean faster, it makes the entire kitchen feel calmer and more inviting. Instead of seeing a dozen unrelated objects competing for your attention, your eyes can focus on the space itself. Sometimes, keeping a kitchen clean isn't about cleaning more. It's simply about giving dirt fewer places to hide. And once your countertops are under control, the next habit makes every movement in the kitchen feel easier on your body. The fifth habit is to organize your kitchen by how often you use each item. Many kitchens are organized by size or by where there's empty space. Plates go into one cabinet, pots into another, small appliances wherever they happen to fit. The result is that you spend the day reaching, bending, lifting, and searching. Japanese kitchens often follow a much simpler rule. The things you use every day should require the least amount of effort to reach. Start with the items you touch every morning. Your favorite mug, your dinner plates, your everyday bowls, your cooking oil, salt and pepper. These should all be stored between your waist and your shoulders, where you can reach them comfortably without stretching or bending. Now look at the items you only use once in a while. The large stock pot for holiday dinners, the cake stand, the slow cooker, the extra serving dishes. These can be stored on higher shelves or in lower cabinets because you don't need them every day. There's another important rule, especially after the age of 50. Never store heavy items above your head. A cast iron pan or a heavy mixing bowl may not seem difficult to lift once, but doing it repeatedly increases the strain on your shoulders and raises the risk of dropping it. Instead, keep heavier cookware in lower cabinets where you can slide it out rather than lift it down. You'll also save time by keeping similar items together. Store coffee mugs near the coffee maker. Keep cutting boards close to your food preparation area. Place cooking utensils beside the stove instead of across the kitchen. The less you walk back and forth, the smoother cooking becomes. A well-organized kitchen doesn't ask your body to work harder. It quietly supports every movement you make. And when your kitchen works with your body instead of against it, even cleaning begins to feel less like a chore. Which brings us to the next Japanese habit. The sixth habit is to slow down just enough to clean with intention. Many of us treat cleaning like a race. We wipe the counter while thinking about the next task. We wash dishes as quickly as possible. We rush through the kitchen just to get it over with. The result is that we often miss spots, leave things half-finished, or feel just as tired when we're done. In Japan, cleaning is often approached differently. Instead of rushing, people focus on doing one small task well before moving to the next. You can practice this with just a few simple changes. When you wash a plate, finish that plate completely before reaching for the next one. When you wipe the countertop, start at one end and move slowly across to the other instead of wiping in random circles. After washing the sink, take a dry cloth and spend a few extra seconds drying the faucet. This helps prevent water spots and leaves the sink looking clean for much longer. When you finish using a towel, fold it neatly before hanging it to dry instead of tossing it over the edge of the sink. These small actions don't take much more time, but they change the feeling of the entire routine. Instead of rushing through the kitchen with your mind somewhere else, you become fully present for a few minutes. Many people are surprised by how calming this feels. The kitchen becomes quieter, your breathing slows down. The work feels lighter because you're no longer trying to do 3 things at once. A clean kitchen isn't only the result of fast hands, it's often the result of a calm mind. And our final habit shows that keeping a kitchen clean doesn't always require expensive products or strong chemicals. The 7th habit is to keep cleaning simple. Many of us have a cabinet filled with different cleaning products. One for the oven, one for glass, one for stainless steel, another for grease. Before long, cleaning feels more complicated than it needs to be. In many Japanese homes, people begin with the simplest solution first: warm water, a good microfiber cloth, a soft brush, baking soda, white vinegar. For everyday cleaning, these are often enough. If the sink has a slight odor, sprinkle a little baking soda over the surface. Add a small amount of warm water, gently scrub with a brush, then rinse everything away. If you notice white mineral spots around the faucet, dampen a cloth with white vinegar, wrap it around the base for a few minutes, then wipe it clean. If the microwave has food splatters inside, place a bowl of hot water with a few slices of lemon inside and heat it for several minutes. The steam softens dried food, making it easy to wipe away without heavy scrubbing. For greasy pans, don't scrub them immediately. Fill them with hot water and let them soak while you finish dinner. By the time you return, most of the grease will come off with very little effort. Simple habits like these reduce the need for harsh chemicals, save money, and make everyday cleaning easier on your hands and lungs. Of course, stronger products still have their place for heavy stains or deep cleaning. But for the messes you deal with every day, simple tools are often all you need. And that's really the lesson behind all 7 of these Japanese habits. A clean kitchen isn't created by one long day of hard work. It's created by dozens of small decisions made at exactly the right moment. You don't have to start using all 7 habits tomorrow. Choose just one. Practice it for a week until it feels natural. Then add another. Over time, you'll spend less time cleaning, less time feeling overwhelmed, and more time enjoying the room that brings everyone in the home together. Sometimes, the secret to a cleaner kitchen isn't doing more. It's simply making every small action count.